hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited this new reading for the month of March that I'll be getting out. And I wanted to show you, I have here this thing around my neck because I still have the remnants of a cough from the flu. And it's okay, it's all right. And so what I'll be doing this month will be to lay the groundwork with my picture postcards that I've used before, as how I use the tarot, and with the same positions. Then I'll be highlighting one side of the spread with this lovely tarot of the obscure fables that really served me well last month for the February readings, and I'll be highlighting one half. The other half I'll be using excuse me, I'll be using the VERA SIBILLA cards. And this month I'll be taking the runes that were given to me. They're onyx, and they're very heavy. They're very heavy, so I use them sparingly, but they're very grounding. Let's go off to the readings. Oh, before I go, thank you, new subscribers, for joining me, and a big shout out to my old subscribers for sticking with me. It's a pleasure. On to the readings. Hello, Scorpio. Hello, Scorpio. It's your turn now for the month of March. Let me see what is in store for you for the month of March, Scorpio. Playing with the first spread. What's in store for Scorpio for the month of March? What's in store for Scorpio for the month of March? Know what's in store for you for the month of March. Okay, there's yearning here. Yearning. Let me show you the cards. This is the ballet rehearsal. Let me see if I could get that. This is the ballet rehearsal by Degas. The Cup of Tea by Mary Cassatt. The New Orleans St. Charles Streetcar. Expectations by Sir Lawrence Alma Tadema. There you go. And Suspense by Charles Burton. Well, there's quite an interesting month for you, Scorpio. A very interesting month. Let me get this closer up here. So interesting because you come into the month by asking yourself a number of questions, because you say to yourself, you know, I've been good. Or I'll just use that really simple word. I've been good. I've been good. I've done my homework. I have been able to prepare. You know, I recite what I have to say. So when I go in, I know exactly and I sound perfect. You know, this is what you're thinking. But you're asking yourself, is that enough? Is that enough for me to do it automatically? Is it possible only to do it automatically? And, you know, you're starting to get serious doubts as to whether it is possible. And so you're looking elsewhere. The actions you take the month of March will see you looking in any place possible to get inspiration for the answers to that question. Because you feel there's more than one answer. You think and you truly believe that it's a combination, a concoction of a magical potion that needs to come together. That if it were possible for you to drink those those questions would no longer be asked by you. Now, of course, you're starting to think, what is she on about? What is Christelle Martinette talking about? She lost her head. This reading is not for me. Okay, of course, this is a general reading, Scorpio, but remember, the month is a long month, and you have to interpret this specifically in ways that you can think that it may be for you. If it's not, it's not for you. But what I'm seeing here is in terms of you interacting with other people. Let me try these phrases on that person to see if they understand. What about if I pull out this repertoire on that person and see if how they react to me? You know, and you're finding that that is not enough. There's a mystery here that you're not being able to understand, and you're trying to unravel. You're trying to pull it out. And on the one hand, you really feel that it's a mystery about the other person, about other people, about the people that you work with. And truly the mystery is in you, in the sense that your input is needed. It's not a matter of, well, it's not a matter of, we are not machines. We cannot push buttons and then words will come out of our mouth. So there must be something more here. There must be something more that will help you see, I'm going to use a stupid phrase, see the light. Now, when I say you go look for the answers in so many different places, this will take you in realms you've never explored before. Those of you who have never worked with fairies or have even thought of, I'm not a fairy person, I come from a different cultural background, so I have other, you know, it's a cultural thing, it's a cultural background of, you know, where you come from, what you've learned, and what you can be open to. Fairies have an equivalent in other cultures with other names. Here you're keeping, you know, you're spreading your wings, you're trying to see, perhaps this is what they call in that field so-and-so, or this, so that you can get some feedback for yourself. Now, the environment that you're working in is at a halt. You feel like there's stability there. You think there's too much stability. It's not dynamic enough for you. And there's, you know, you're sensing that it's going towards a negative development. And what's interesting is that your emotional side to the month and the way you feel emotionally to what is going on in your life, and this is different for all of us, is that you have that sense of longing. You have that sense of wanting, and so much so that you think and you ask yourself, well, is it that person or that group of people that is attracting me? Am I really in love with that person? Or do I just want sex? You know, this is an example. If I do just want sex, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's, you know, there is something wrong if you have to constantly question yourself and question yourself and question yourself about it. Now, there are, like I said, we are not machines. We don't push buttons and act. And since we are aware, we do have consciousness, this is going to be really emerging strongly in the month of March as to, you're going to start to evaluate your role in the creation of events as they develop. Because events you're thinking, okay, I'm thinking for you, Scorpio, your events occur, but you have a hand in them. They occur because they're developing. You are there. If you were not there, they would be developing in a different way that you don't know. So, you know, you're trying to see how much, well, so to speak, responsibility you may have. And without going over the deep end, there's no depression here, I see. I mean, it's not light. It's not light. It's very in-depth. But it will not bring you to the pit of desperation. Not at all. By no means. It will actually just be a perfect environment for you to develop your thoughts even better. Then, the element of change. You know that there's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You know that, and you want to get there, and you're preparing the groundwork because you know that something good is going to happen if you play your cards right. Now, I'm going to use these to clarify a couple of the things. And you want that surprise. You want it to be a bona fide surprise. You want it to be something that will put together, that will conjugate, that will have the world of spirituality come together with sexuality, come together with work. You want it all. And you want it all in the same place. You want it all in the same place, in the same person. You know, and I'm going off the deep end here saying this, because what I'm saying is exactly that. Of course, we are not all the same, and of course the situations are all different, but you are really, you know, becoming a bit pig-headed as to your open realm. You tend this month to sort of, there's a bit of an implosion, and we need to guard about that, guard of, you know, from that. So I'm going to take 3 of these lovely cards, the tarot of the obscure fables, on the question, your action, and the environment that surrounds you and that you create. Wow, we have some big cards here. I hope you can see that. One is the Emperor. And we know the Emperor is an Aries card. You may have to do with an Aries. Or it is the Aries period that begins the 21st of March, which is in the month, 3rd week. Let's take a look at the rest of the cards. Then we have oh, please help me, someone. Justice, the Justice card. In many decks, the Justice card and the Strength card are reversed. This is one of those cases. This is the Justice card. So we have the Emperor, Aries card, the Justice card, and the Justice is Libra period, which is right before your period, right before your birthday period, September 21st to October 20th. And then we've got this foreboding 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords is a card that talks of Mars in Gemini. So we have the Mars Aries and Aries. They are mirroring each other. And the Gemini period is the period that follows Taurus. That would be May to beginning of June. May 21st to June 20th. Now, Scorpio, what I'm seeing is that you are using the period of March and the beginning of April, all right, the Aries period, to start voicing your opinion, to start as if it were an interview, as if it were a questionnaire, going out, getting your information, and almost taking written notes or mental notes about what people say, how they think, so you can, you know, make deductions and then go on, because this is a strategy. You are strategizing in the very vintage, not vintage is not the word I want, but it is vintage Scorpio, what I'm seeing, but it's a mature strategizing. It's different from what I've seen in the past for you. And you're on a mission, you know, or you think you know what you want. There's that element of the doubt that makes it healthy for you and that makes the surprise plausible. Let's take the 3 VERA SIBILLA cards over your emotions and the change with the surprise coming in. Oh my gosh. All right, then we've got the viaggio, the trip, the movement. We've got the domestico, the house domestic, and then we have the donna di servizio. So there are 2 domestics, right? The housemaid and the domestic. One is a helper, one is hindering you, but they both speak of home. Now, where are we going? Huh? Where are we going? Where is that movement? Are we going away? Are we going toward? And it does talk of home. Far, not far in the depths, but it is surfacing. Where you hang your hat and what you call home, you're ready for a move. You're ready to have a change surrounding your home. And it's an important change. It could, play out in terms of someone, you moving in with someone, they moving in with you moving house and picking up, the pieces from a past relationship or moving into a new relationship. This is very, very interesting. Also, what's interesting is that the viaggio is moving away from the domestic up and down. On the one hand, this will play out with many of you Scorpios as a cry for independence. And the more you have this situation, these two, domestic, I can't get this, the mirrored image of the computer. There you go. Okay. The more you have these ups and downs in the home, the more you will find that you will be looking for your freedom away. It will give you a free space. And it's also, that is another quandary for you. Can I keep my free space? What if I do go live with somebody? Will they invade my space? What is that all about? Is it necessary to make a book of rules for that? Is it just me? I just, I'm making I'm already, even just thinking about it, putting myself in a prison. So these cards are very, very eloquent this morning. And let me take the runes to see if they can add something. Yeah. It was round and round, and where you go, nobody knows. It was turning, and it is not the beginning of moving in with somebody. Yet, this is just laying the groundwork until your mind comes to a conclusion that you can live with and understand. What is happening here is that you are taking the problem, by the horns. You're taking the bull by the horns. You know that the only way for you to feel comfortable and to be able, the nameless faceless rune weird has come out, thank goodness, is to feel the net of protection by going within. Now, what does this tell me? This tells us two things, Scorpio. You go within, that means it's not without. So the other person involved, or persons involved, or anyone you are thinking about, are not involved, period. And there's an area in your life, in your mind, when I say life, in your consciousness, that plays out the story all by itself. Of course, you might say, well, we all do this. Yes, we do. Some people do it more. And here, I'm seeing two very, very, very important things. One, that this is you. The runes here are telling me with this rune, nameless and faceless rune, this is the way I am. This is it. Take it or leave it. I'm like this. But not only that you being like this is the absolute, otala, the key to your success. Because when you acknowledge it, and you're able to communicate that and have others acknowledge that as well, you're on easy street. You don't have to have any more major discussions or fights about anything. It is smooth. You have to show people that that's the way you are. Scorpio, namaste. It was a pleasure to read for you. Bye-bye till we read together again.